5:37, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hope you're doing well. It's time for the Gang of Three. Joan Jones is here. Good morning, Joan. How are you?
Good morning.
Johnny's here. Hey, Johnny, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Dan? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? I wish you could sing Joan right after she did her traffic, because we had that, that commercial that runs nonstop.
Yes.
During
Stomach
the morning.
issues one that the gurgly. Gosh.
I could hear her laughing in here.
You did that on purpose. You played it right after I spoke.
Oh, you busted me.
I did hear you, Joan, start to laugh at
Did you
that
hear it?
commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely did. And I'm like, yeah.
We all feel it.
Well, you know what, folks?
Yeah, we sure do.
When you are listening at home or in the car and you're wondering, they play that like every commercial break.
Yeah.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, we do.
And we're
know.
sorry.
Well, we put it after traffic because, what does your stomach do during traffic, Nashville traffic?
And I always wonder, who thinks that's a good commercial? I just, that commercial and the sound effect that it has right in the beginning.
Yes.
I don't know, man. What's worse, that or Cars for Kids?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know, but that one, it really doesn't sound like a stomach gurgling. It sounds far worse. Like you need to go hit the restroom.
You need to go see
now.
A gastroenterologist is what you need to do.
Yes.
That sounds like that. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like Bandit when he ate that poison. That is exactly. And then we had to call Zero Res. I mean, that's exactly what we had to. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of what. What's that? Oh, you know what that is? That's Joe Biden falling asleep in Angola.
Oh, did you see?
You see,
my gosh.
I just X'd it out, put it on my X feed, and Joe Biden.
Yes, right in front of world leaders.
Right in front of world leaders. He is asleep.
And they're still talking.
They're still talking.
It's almost like, well, I guess I just keep going, even though he's doing that.
And people are sort of looking around, and you have to figure out, okay, do we throw a piece of paper at the president? Do we just hey, Joe, wake up?
And his handlers are there.
Oh yeah.
And they're watching this happen, and they do nothing.
No, they just let it go. Because here's the thing: if the handlers actually wake him up, then
it's an admission.
Yes, Joe, that's exactly right. It is an admission, and they can't admit it. So
they're just talking to themselves, going, "Well, at least he's not pooping his pants."
Oh gosh, they may be doing both. I mean,
it's exactly President Poopy Pants.
Now, do you think what made him sleepy was that he was watching MSNBC just before?
Maybe. Could have been, because they're rating every it's almost, Joan, like every week there's another story about MSNBC's and their ratings.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one this week. They took another historic drop. They say now their viewership among 25 to 54 has dropped to just 38,000. That's how many people.
38,000.
38,000.
Wow. Can you get into negative territory? I think that's where they're headed.
I think they are too.
Realize that's not in a city.
No.
That is nationwide.
That's nationwide.
Right. Yeah.
And in fact, Rachel Maddow, her show hit its lowest demo numbers since 2015, even trailing reruns of Ancient Aliens.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That is insanity. Listen,
I tune in to watch it. I'm one of those people because I get such a kick out of. They're so smug. They're still so smug, and everything goes back to whatever topic they can bring. It's the fault of Donald Trump.
Yes,
and they'll twist themselves into a pretzel to try to make it so that it's Donald Trump's fault.
One of the things that I read the other day was that, and here's my question to you folks and to Johnny and Joan, is Are people not watching MSNBC any longer because they feel like they've been duped and lied to? Or is it just that there's a give up on the other side? Because one of the things that I was reading is that the other side, the Democrats and the liberals and all that, you know how they're always about, protesting and anger and all that kind of stuff. They've kind of given up. They tried to do this demonstration or something in Washington, D.C. I think it was last week, and very few people actually showed up. So I think part of what's going on is people on the other side, they're so demoralized because of what happened, and so they've given up. But perhaps part of that give up is that they're not watching MSNBC any longer, or is it boring?
Well,
it could be that too.
And two, I think those on the Democrat side still don't quite grasp the reality and what is truly what happened, because they're out. A lot of talking heads are out there on the left saying that, well, people that are college educated, the college educated voters.
I love that.
They stay in tune. They stay close to the news and all that. Said what's happening is the low info voter that is working class and maybe didn't get a college degree. They're not following the news, which is absolute BS.
It's the exact opposite.
It is the exact, and in fact, that's what's happened to the Democrat Party, and they can't understand it. You've become too highbrow. You've become it's like you're talking down to the very people you're wanting to vote for you.
So do you think that people just now they recognize the BS? Or do you think that it's just bad programming? Because you're right. I think that people have kind of realized that the message that they're pushing, number one, it's full of BS because, as I've said many times now, okay, so if Donald Trump is truly Hitler, why aren't the tanks around the White House?
Exactly.
You are selling out America by not calling for the military to surround the White House because you've been telling us he was Hitler all this time.
You know what I think? You know how some people, and I have friends who have turned their Facebook pages to the black, all you see is it's a black screen on their profile picture and their background picture. And another friend that just and this is a friend that I've known for so long, unfriended me. Completely unfriended me.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody who I really loved and respected. And I just think that there's a lot of people who are just doing that with their whole lives, just blacking out. They're not going to watch any coverage anymore because it's going to be all Donald Trump. So they just don't watch.
They can't take it.
Bye. Then bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, see, well, it's like all these celebrities that are now actually leaving the country, or they're leaving X or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's like they had Curly Bill in stage in Tombstones. If you ever saw that,
yep.
When the Earps were leaving town, he just looked up at him and said, "Well, bye."
Hey, can we talk about this assassination in New York?
Yeah,
this is fascinating,
isn't it? Though
Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, assassinated in New York right before a big meeting, and so people are saying that this was a professional hit. Have you guys seen the actual video? I'm sure, Joan, you have.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys walking down the street, I think it's 54th Avenue, and a dude with a silencer who has been waiting for him for quite some time walks up behind him, shoots him in the back, shoots him a couple more times. His gun jammed. He fixed the jam, shot him, and then he bails. Some are saying he escaped from an e-bike. Other people are saying he didn't, whatever. But they're saying that because he had a silencer, that this was I'm going to air quote this, a professional hit, or that this guy was a professional assassin. You remember, do you remember what is it? The guy who was on, he was on with Jesse Waters last night.
Oh,
America's Most Wanted, John Walsh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I kept wanting to say Matt Walsh. John Walsh says, no, this was not a professional hit.
He wasn't wearing sunglasses. A real pro would have been wearing sunglasses so that they couldn't get him with facial recognition. He had a half-ass gun. He probably learned how to build it on YouTube or something like that.
You know what's so funny? I'm watching, I think, or I wasn't watching. CNN was on yesterday at the house. I'm trying not to throw Amy under the bus, but there is a graphic or whatever that said that the gunman apparently had a knowledge of firearms. And I'm like, is that a real headline? Like, of course he has a knowledge of firearms. He used it to shoot somebody.
Yes.
Craziest thing ever. Now, here's the deal, is that this guy, I mean, he clearly was a cold and bloodless killer. I mean,
man.
Yeah.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Walsh says, did somebody pay him to do this? The guy, Brian Thompson, there was a lot going on with United. We're going to get into that. But this is part of what Walsh had to say about whether or not this was a professional hit.
I think he was smart. I think I heard you say earlier today you thought someone may have paid him. But I think about the stock deal, and I think the trouble that the company got into, you never know when people are hurt. And this company hurt a lot of doctors, couldn't get their money. There are a lot of patients that had to wait a long, long time to get their bills paid. So it may be somebody out of control whose grandmother died because they couldn't get the right doctor, they couldn't get the right help.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the deal on United is that there have been groups that have been protesting because United is accused of just denying benefits and using AI to illegally deny benefits. And so if somebody needs to get an operation or this, that, or the other, they were just denying people.
Well, and Brian Thompson, from what I understand, was under investigation for insider trading.
Yeah, because
there were several executives.
Yeah, there was going to be a big investigation, and so they dumped their stock before the investigation actually was announced. And his wife says, yes, there were some threats against Thompson, and so there's a lot of controversy surrounding him. Of course, nobody clearly, obviously deserves what happened to him.
No.
But
so you want to hear a really interesting thing?
Yeah.
The gunman hopped on a bike and took off through the streets of New York, made his way into Central Park. How do police know that? Well, because they saw video cameras along the way. Now he gets into Central Park and they kind of lose track of him, but there's only so many ways you can go once you get out of the park. So they're trying to look at the video cameras, the surveillance cameras of different areas, different boroughs to try to figure out like where he went from there. That's where they are in this investigation now. Here's how they tracked him. They used the Fusus technology in New York City that Nashville just rejected.
did they really?
Wow.
Yeah, they have Fusus technology just this summer. They voted, just like they did here in Nashville, they voted on whether or not to expand. So both Nashville and New York City were doing their beta trial of this.
Is this like
technology.
the LPRs? Is that what you're talking about?
No, so what happens is, the businesses that have surveillance cameras outside of their homes or outside of their businesses, sign up. It's a volunteer program. They sign up. They get a device that they plug their cameras into. Now, if something happens in that neighborhood and police need to figure out, hey, where did this person go?
All the data is right there.
It's right there. Everybody volunteers for this program. They get to watch. Police are allowed to watch the video cameras, the surveillance video. Mm-hmm. Nashville, just this week on Tuesday night, voted against it. They said, nope, police can't do that.
Is this Nashville City Council?
Nashville City Council. In New York City, they voted the same thing in May. In May, they okayed the program to expand. So they went beyond their beta testing program and they have rolled it out across the city.
Holy mackerel.
And that's how they track this guy.
In this instance, Nashville City Council is more liberal
more left
than New York.
Of New York City.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
That's not a good place to be.
No, it's
nope.
not.
Nope. Way to go, Nashville Council.
Way to go, Nashville. Yeah. Exactly. By the way, detectives have said that the shell casings had the words deny, defend, and depose.
Yes.
Scrawled on these shell casings as well. Police are now working to determine the meaning of the words and work out if they are linked to a motive. Sources telling ABC, you think?
Wow.
Sources telling ABC News, they say several shots were fired during the attack, with the gun briefly getting jammed before being cleared. So, yeah, that really interesting story. And obviously, this was a targeted attack. And I think part of what I read this morning is, and I think you may have actually reported, the cops are saying there's a killer on the loose, but nobody else is, you're not in danger from this particular person. This was clearly a targeted assassination is exactly what happened. So, yeah, I mean, fascinating. And this is something that a lot of people are looking at. And the more that you find out about Brian Thompson, the more you find out about United Healthcare and their problems, then you start to look at, and I agree with John Walsh, it would not surprise me because there have been professional there have been organizations that are out there protesting United Healthcare. And so it wouldn't surprise me if it was affiliated with this denying of coverage, and some say illegally denying of coverage, literally using AI to deny the coverage that people are paying into. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll keep folks updated on that. 615-737-9986 is the phone number, 615-737-9986. That is the super text line. Oh, by the way, Joan. Mm-hmm. You want to hear a compliment from the super text line?
Oh, I'd love to. I love compliments.
I don't know. Joan, this might make you feel uncomfortable. 5176 says, saw the pic of Joan Jones yesterday. Chris Hand is no longer the good-looking one on the team.
Well,
I
and
do
check
my
out her
eyebrows.
sweater this morning.
I do my eyebrows.
See there?
See?
You do your eyebrows.
Yeah. Chris does his eyebrows. So do I.
She does a better job.
Listen, guys, Joan, can I speak freely, or are you going to haul me into human resources?
Oh no, I love.
So, guys, if you want to see a good-looking chick, go find us on YouTube or Facebook. See, what I'm trying to do is up our numbers online. If you want to see a good-looking woman, go find us anywhere you can watch us on the video. Again, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and see Joan Jones.
Maybe we should just black out our cameras, Dan, and let the beauty shine.
I don't think so.
Johnny, you're not the first one that is. Anyway.